spent the almost past decade championing quality of life here in Johnson County, and I have the results to show for it. I have effective leadership at the local level, and I hope to have it at the state level, representing people like you. I have experience, the differences between myself and my opponent. I have experience as an elected official, working on bipartisan levels to move the community forward. I have a more diverse background of knowledge and experience with these quality of life issues through the chamber, through the environment, property values, arts, culture, Medicaid. But the final reason is because with this administration, unfortunately, moderate Republicans are going to have no voice in the legislature. These people up here do not agree with the leadership, and I think that will be reflected if they are elected. Thank you.
Well, I disagree with Megan's characterization of the future of moderates in the legislature. I think that we need to continue to be a strong voice in the Republican caucus. I think that my own background speaks to my qualifications for this job. I have been working within this community for years, advocating for our schools, and I've got some familiarity with the system of committees and the workings of the legislature that I think will serve us well. I'm also interested in effective communications with my constituents and representing their interests, not the interests of someone else's political agenda. So I look forward to earning your vote on November 6th.
The government is you. You have the right to vote to choose one of us to represent you, and I encourage you to use that right. Why should you vote for me? I bring to the table a huge education level that was all provided in Kansas, K through medical school. I have worked diligently as a representative for the last 3 years. So I have a great deal of experience in the legislature, and that is valuable. I have learned definitely knowing how the system works, and it is complex. I have commitment and passion, and anyone who knows me as their representative knows that I work hard to communicate well and to be available to the people. I ask when I go to the doorstep, your job is to let me know what you need and what I need to do to represent you. That is the point of me being in Topeka, not to represent myself, but to represent you. So I ask for your vote November 6th.
Well, I would like to say how happy I am to sit up here and have these discussions with a rational human being. I'm not up here fighting for women's rights. I'm not up here fighting for education in the same way that a lot of candidates are having to do throughout the state. And I think that's something we have to be proud of in this area. And I am honored to live here because of this good, moderate sentiment. I'm still gonna have to hold you to task for the tax bill. And if that's the only thing that I have to hold you to task for, I gotta do it. And I just, there was some other bills that were voted on. We have yay votes recorded from you on the day that that tax bill was passed. And I just want to really make sure that going forward, regardless of who is elected, that it is very, very high up in our priorities to look at that tax plan.
Okay. So I'm a former history teacher, and that makes me a huge history nerd. So one of my favorite quotes is by Cicero, and Cicero said that the will of the people is the supreme law of the land. That's our democracy. Your will. What do you want to happen? It's not about me, as Barbara put it, and it's not about whatever political agenda somebody else may have. We need to represent you, and that's what I will do in Topeka. I just want to go over my resume a little bit. I am an attorney, an educator, and an advocate. That is what I do on a daily basis. Every time I walk out the door, I'm fulfilling those roles. So from an education standpoint, I have a number of years. I spend 20 hours a week teaching. I spend 20 hours a week working on accreditation, budgets, all the things that go along with education. That is my background. That is what I do. Those are the most important issues for me, and I will represent you in Topeka, and hopefully I'll earn your vote on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. I would just like to call back to, even though I'm not an elected official, I consider myself an individual who has a public record. I have a long-standing public record of standing up to my party when I see them doing wrong. I have been involved with the Republican Party for a number of years, and I consider myself a very strong voice for moderation. This was reiterated time and time and again when I spoke with individuals, when I knocked on their doors, again, Republican individuals in my neighborhood who share my values, who have the concerns for strong schools, a strong local economy, a strong transportation plan, all of which leads to a strong Johnson County. If you support me at the polls, you will have a very impassioned advocate who is willing to stand up to anyone in order to make sure that your voice is heard. Thank you very much.